Part 4 Description: The People's Ledger. The battle for America's future moves from communities and boardrooms to the halls of government. As another financial crisis threatens the country, major banks and corporations once again demand public rescue while ordinary people face layoffs, evictions, and rising debt. But this time, the public refuses to remain silent. Workers, teachers, students, small business owners, nurses, retirees, and families unite behind Elias's bold reform plan, the People's Ledger. The plan calls for worker ownership, public banking, stronger protections for voters and unions, corporate transparency, affordable housing, universal legal access, tougher antitrust laws, and limits on the power of money in politics. Elias and his allies fight for an America where public money serves the public, not merely the wealthiest corporations. Yet the closer Elias comes to victory, the more he risks losing the people closest to him. His wife Naomi challenges him to recognize that he cannot save the country by sacrificing his family. Forced to confront the power he has accumulated, Elias must choose whether to remain the face of the movement, or give that power back to the people. Chapter 7. The night of the hearings. The Senate hearing lasted 14 hours. By the time Elias sat before the committee, it was nearly midnight. Protesters filled the streets outside the Capitol. Some carried signs supporting him. Others held posters calling him a fraud, a radical, and a threat to freedom. Senator Celia Harrow chaired the hearing. She had the polished calm of someone who had prepared every question in advance. Mr. Vance, she began, you have advocated for public ownership in companies receiving government aid. Is it your position that the federal government should control private enterprise? No, Elias said. My position is that the public should not bear all the risk while private executives keep all the reward. Sounds like control. It sounds like accountability. Harrow leaned forward. You have made billions through market speculation. Why should Americans trust you to reform the system that made you rich? The room went still. Elias had expected the question. Yet it still hurt. They should not trust me because I am wealthy, he said. They should trust transparent rules, democratic institutions, independent courts, free journalism, strong labor rights, and systems in which no person, not even me, holds too much power. That is a fine speech. It is not a speech. It is the point. Elias opened a folder. This is the People's Ledger, he said. The document contained the plan his movement had spent 3 years developing. It proposed public disclosure of major political donations, strict limits on corporate lobbying, taxes on large-scale financial speculation, worker representation on corporate boards, public banking, stronger antitrust laws, universal legal aid in civil cases involving housing and employment, and a national equity fund giving every citizen a small public investment stake. The plan also proposed a constitutional amendment stating that political rights belong to people, not corporate entities. It stated that access to voting could not be restricted by wealth, race, disability, or geography. It stated that elected government held the authority to regulate political spending. Senator Harrow flipped through the pages. You want to change everything, she said. Elias thought of Dawn. Of Tasha. Of Raymond. Of Lena's anger. Of Daniel's bitterness. Of the people standing outside in the cold because they had finally decided their lives were worth more than a quarterly earnings report. No, he said. I want to change what keeps breaking people. Chapter 8, Naomi's Line. Naomi had supported Elias from the beginning. She had sat at kitchen tables while he calculated risks. She had watched him leave a powerful job. She had helped turn their home into a temporary office while the movement found its feet. She had endured threats, reporters at the gate, strangers taking photographs of their children, and years in which Elias was physically present but mentally trapped in 1,000 crises. But support did not mean surrender. One evening, after the hearing, she found him in his study at 2 a.m. Every light in the room was on. Documents covered the floor. His phone pulsed with messages from governors, organizers, lawyers, and employees. You have not eaten, she said. I will in a minute. You said that 4 hours ago. He did not answer. Naomi walked to the desk and closed his laptop. Elias looked up sharply. Naomi. No. There is a vote tomorrow. There will always be a vote tomorrow. There will always be another crisis, another speech, another person who needs you to fix something. I cannot stop now. You can. You are choosing not to. The silence between them felt enormous. Naomi's voice softened, but it did not weaken. You built this movement because you believed no one should have to sacrifice their entire life just to survive. Yet you are asking your own family to sacrifice you. Elias looked toward the hall where Lena's bedroom door stood closed. Micah had moved out for college the previous year, angry that strangers knew his father better than he did. I am doing this for them, Elias said. No, Naomi replied. You are doing it for everyone. That is noble. But do not use your children as a reason for abandoning your children. For the first time in years, Elias had no argument. The next day, he surprised the movement by announcing that the Common Ground Trust would no longer depend on his personal direction. It would create a democratically elected national council with term limits, public audits, and independent oversight. The trust's bylaws would prevent any single donor, executive, or family member from controlling it. Some supporters panicked. Some donors withdrew. Mara understood immediately. You are giving up power, she said. I have spent years telling everyone else to. That does not make it easy. No, Elias said. It makes it necessary.